maybe do hotkeys. Or something else. I don't want to put too much work into it. Because we're gonna change it, probably. It's just for testing. We'll see, we'll see. Probably we're doing a separate selectable for the refunding implementation, I guess. Man, UI development always a bit of a pain. Okay. But I guess there's no way around it. We need to implement the UI now. Otherwise, it's not really possible to test. Okay, what are our options now? We could do complete separate button, like a plus minus kind of thing. I mean, that would work. We just have them stacked. We could have additional button pressed. So basically, if you press, like on gamepad, you press like a trigger or something while selecting, or like if you press a trigger, it switches to refund. Bit more complicated on keyboard. We would have to communicate pressing shift or something. Or we're doing like, do we ignore the whole button interactable thing and do different inputs and move it with our own input pipeline, kinda, which is long term probably the smoothest thing. The question is, do we want to implement it now already or not? Because if Ruina, if I'm, yeah, basically you have this kinda grid interaction. So we would be doing, we would still have the selectables. And we need to cache that somewhere. Honestly, maybe just for testing, we should try rebuilding like a layout like this. So we can also show, because we will need it for, we will need it at some point. So we can show additional information about the whole, like basically this, we need to show this somewhere as well. So maybe it's we need to, we are still using the selectables and the navigation logic, but we're not using buttons. I think. Or we can still use the buttons, but process it differently depending on which input you chose. I'm not sure if that works. I think there's a sneaky way of having the button interactable but not actually connected to logic and then process the logic somewhere else. Do we want to implement that now? I guess let's start it. Let's go back to the player workspace. Now, what we want to do here. What's the current shop UI? You know what? Let's build one from scratch. Panel, skill tree. We want it stretched to the whole screen. And we need a NUI panel. NUI stands for new UI. It's like because we had an old UI implementation. Then we did a new thing, but didn't want to get rid of the old completely, so I kinda had to come up with a name, and that's the result. I'm not even sorry for it. So still need to have the whole pausing game and switching to menu input. We could also consider having a separate input layer for it, or like a separate, what's it called, action map, so we can have the different interactions. Maybe we'll do that actually. Okay, what we're gonna need is a navigation, that's for sure. And a content. Okay, how are we doing? I think we want to separate my dilemma right now is I kinda want to build a system that's somewhat functional and and nice from a UX perspective, but I also don't want to put too much work into it because it's just a prototype really. Now I'm struggling to find a good balance between, inside of you there are two worlds. The one that's really nerdy and into UX, the one that just wants to get things done. I guess let's just go with the two simple buttons though. I think we're going to put every branch into a separate panel, so to say. And then with the buttons, well, we kind of need to align the buttons with the panels, but we'll manage. So for now, we're going to focus on these 5, I guess. Like, let's do 3 for now, for starting. let's call this line speed. We're going to need headers for all of those. And we don't need localization for now. But we want a custom alignment middle and to the right. Yes. So then the basic idea would be so we have the navigation on the left. Kinda want the panels like that as well. Then maybe around here. So now the real work kinda begins. It probably makes more sense to have it like that, stacked downwards, like the ruiner thing, space-wise, because we need 10 horizontally and like 5 vertically. So maybe we actually want to do that and use horizontal navigation. And then inside I think Ruiner just did it really well. You also have the space with the overview of the text. Like, maybe we're just copying the whole thing for now. Now the question is, we don't really need buttons per se. We just need like selectables. So I could actually scaling with the top. That is a selectable. just found a typo. So now well, let's see how well this works. So, I guess we'll be adding an image just as a background color thing. And then go from there. Okay, we can also actually set up the navigation explicitly. So that wouldn't be a problem with the buttons. Okay, what are we even trying to achieve here? Mostly just experimenting with UI to understand how anything works, and then in the process coming up with a solution if we want to build that thing or something simpler. Hello, Dix BTW7. Thanks. Having a good stream. struggling with the depths of UI. UI development in games seems like a special kind of struggle to me. Especially when we're still prototyping, no? Because rationally, it's... Okay, let's look at it from this point of view. We're just building a prototype. We don't even know if like game design approves of this. So there's not really a reason to build something that's good from a UX perspective. We just need 2 buttons to add a skill point and remove a skill point. And then we don't even need to have a lot of text information in there. Because technically this, if it's functional, this with like another button for removing should be enough. But like on a psychological level, if we want to have like our design lead approve, it's probably good to have it look somewhat nice. But it's also could be that it's just wasted work, because we are going to iterate it anyways. So yeah, let's let the rational part win this time and just use. I think we are going to use the layout from this, but instead have... We're still gonna use the selectables. Maybe we're gonna get rid of the buttons and then handle the input separately. I feel like that's a good trade-off, but maybe I'm wrong. Okay, let's keep this thing here. Let's copy the shop panel. Oh, we don't need this as well. You know what? Let's not keep the shop panel. Let's keep this thing. Removing the child panels for now. But instead of using a new button for the navigation, we are using the ones we set up for the shop page. We should actually make those prefabs as well. So now, still want to have it aligned to the left. Oops. And oh wait, that was the wrong button. We actually need this button. Looks so small. We actually need this button with the pivot at well, that's a question really. Technically the whole thing should have another parent or something. Let's put the pivot over there. Can we have the text aligned to the right? Does this work? Doesn't. Man, this whole setup is kinda messed up. Okay. No. Take 5, I think. We are doing a new button from scratch, a new selectable from scratch, but we are reusing some of the old logic. So we kinda just need a selectable on there, and a new and select. Can't write. New selectable and a style event. Selectable style. So, then we need a few texts. Those we can maybe steal from there. Gonna remove the content size filter till we actually need it. Those things to be centered. Them to have their pivot in the middle, I guess. And we want to have them maybe like this. And those maybe aligned to the left. Move the type somewhere in the middle. Those things over there. Thought we updated the alignment. Okay. Now. Okay, we have a selectable. we can go through those, but we can't interact with them. And it is kind of what we want. Kind of. Okay, now we can make this a prefab for now. We don't have this. Let's do like a custom spacing. This thing is the anchor. Add 2 more. Do the editor setup and validation. Spacing of 50. Oh, I guess 100. What are we going to have? Backstab and time. Move that up here. Okay, doesn't look too exciting, but doesn't have to be. Now let's hook up the logic. So this thing needs to kinda notify the system that it's selected with the upgrade type. And then the player needs something to process the upgrade refund input. So not sure about the naming here, but that's okay. And for reference, we're looking at what else is handling input. Let's just go to the ability controller. This needs to notify the fragment system of upgrade refund input. a callback context. That is active and enabled, we're returning. Also adding an empty start, so we have the UI toggle in the editor. Then we want to check. Not doing that here, are we? Why not though? Normally we want to check for performed. Well, let's do that. So there are different states of callback context. Like all of them get called and you kind of have to check. Performed, cancelled, started, depending on what you need. But performed normally is the thing you set up in the input manager, as far as I know. Then we are notifying the system. Kinda the same thing for refunds. Okay. Step 1. Basic logic is already here. Just need to hook it up with the... Now the question is if we want to put something in between or have everything run with the memory fragment system. My gut feeling tells me we should have like another system in there as well that just handles the like UI communication. But I'm not sure how, because it should, and also kind of wants to be a singleton or like a system so that the player and the UI can talk to it. I mean, technically it doesn't have to be. It could live on the UI. Could live on the UI. Could very well live on the UI. And the UI fetches the player and subscribes to their input methods. Guess let's do that, actually. And I guess we can make it a navigation module. Like we did for the temporary upgrades. Put it on my other screen. Let's see how we are doing this. So we do have in panel navigation module. We need to fetch player. Let's see, what can we override? Enable, on disable. That's on navigate, so we get the player gets destroyed once in a while when restarting a run. Okay, nav module, not too helpful to be honest. I guess what we actually want is a panel module. I think. Because then we can implement show and hide. For fetching the player and subscribing to the unsubscribing through the events. And also, but we still need to, that's something we can have serialized the connection to the selectables. We also need to subscribe to them. To like see which one's selected right now. This seems a bit shady, but I think this will work. Bear with me here. And the input. Hello Allegra, welcome back. How was your class? Is your class finished? Level design was it? What kind of level? Level design is like a broad topic. When people talk about level design, they mean all kinds of things. Like blockouting, whiteboxing, doing level interactions, encounter design, or like the whole art path kind of thing. It's kinda not helpful when I tell people I do level design. Because then, I don't know, mostly they think I'm an artist, so they're doing that I'm doing, like making locations pretty, but in reality, when I'm doing level design, I'm moving around gray boxes. So yeah, basically the question is, what kind of level design are you doing in class? But I'm stuck right now with figuring out how to set up a UI in this project. Okay, we need to fetch the player, we need to subscribe to your input events, and we need to subscribe to the select events on the branch selectables. Rework the blockout in Photoshop. Okay, so basically doing a overpaint of the, or like some kind of target render. And that's auch kind of what we are doing right now with our levels. So I finished, or like we have one draft of a blockout, and now I'm waiting for what Art has to say about it. So with me it's probably going to be a lecture from the art department telling me I need to update the level, the blockout. Not in Photoshop though, then in Unity. I don't know anything about Photoshop. Yeah. Level design is a specific kind of, I'm not sure, skill, mindset. You really need to have an I don't know how to explain it. Level design is a whole different department itself. Audio. Okay. You're kind of doing everything over there, right? I mean, I guess that's a good thing to have, like, to specifically know all the different things that a game needs, and also knowing all the different departments that you don't want to end up in, like level design. For me it's audio and art, everything art. But it still kind of sucks that you have to go through everything, and especially like have assignments and stuff. Because normally when you don't like something, you notice really quickly. And then the rest is, I'm not sure how useful it is to, I mean, especially for indie developers, it's always important to have an overview of all the different skills needed and also know how other people are working and what they need. Like if you're becoming a producer or like any kind of director, then it's really key that you have knowledge of all the different departments, also technical knowledge. You can talk with the people on their level. If you're just doing your stuff, eh. Digital painting, yeah, that seems more aligned with your normal day-to-day work. Yeah, I always thought maybe I should. I was always thinking about, like, once I have a lot of time on my hand, maybe when I'm retired, to start getting into pixel art or something. Because that's kinda the only thing missing, so I can make like side projects all by myself. So maybe one day you can teach me a thing or two about art. But right, for now, I have to teach myself a thing or two about UI. I mean, I implemented the system, but that doesn't mean I understand it. As it is the life of a programmer. Okay, first things first. Player input. So this thing is going to live on the player. Memory fragment input. We need to hook it up with the input system, but then we can broadcast Unity events. Just gonna call it request upgrade event. And then request refund event. And I like calling things requests, because request basically tells me that this thing is just broadcasting into the void and doesn't really care if it works or not. It's just like, you know, a request doesn't have to follow it. And down here we can invoke the upgrade event and invoke the refund event. And technically that should be everything this component needs to do. Oh, new cosplay planned? Tell me more, or is it a surprise? Then, okay, and on this side we need to fetch the player, or actually just the input. Yeah, okay. Forgive me for butchering the name. Is Sola from Final Fantasy? I haven't actually played, I think, anything from Final Fantasy. So let's look it up. Actually, I have played I've played a little bit of one Final Fantasy. I think it was called Crystal. Oh. Interesting. Complete with weapon. Okay, I see. That's a very cosplayable character. I'm excited for the ears. But yeah, the only one Final Fantasy I played for a bit was the Crystal Chronicles on the Wii. Oh yeah, good times. No, that wasn't even the one I played, I think. There was a different one. Yeah, Crystal Chronicles, Echoes of Time. Echo of Time? Yeah, I think they ported it from Nintendo, from the DS. I played that on the Wii, I remember. That's my only gamer connection to Final Fantasy. Like on a obviously I get the news from the new releases and the the design news. But actually playing, I have only played Echoes of Time. Do you have a goal for when, like a convention in mind where you want to go with the cosplay? I don't have my convention calendar up to date. Kinda have to plan ahead with convention attendance. Anyways, because most anime conventions will also get in Austria we'll get a indie area, and we're either attending or being involved in the organization. I'm not sure yet. YumiCon. Oh yeah, Comic Con. Comic Con is always like late, isn't it? Like October or something. Vienna Comic Con. I mean, once you have it, you can capitalize and like go to all the conventions. October or November. Okay, well that's sounds like enough time. Also, just the whole summer break in between. I had a talk with a colleague at Coworking about cosplay, getting into cosplay. I'm not seriously planning it because time and money, but maybe in the future. It's a very committed hobby. You have to be very committed for it. But it seems like a lot of fun as well. Or maybe one day. So we're getting the input here. And then we need to... Okay, we're listening for player requesting upgrade and for player requesting refund. So request upgrade event, we're adding our listener here. And then the same thing for the refund. So it's already correct. And then when it's hidden, we are removing them. Technically we don't have to. It's always good practice to manage your listeners and have them add or remove as needed. But technically on player, the request events shouldn't be triggered when outside of the UI. So if that's happening, something is wrong anyways. Okay, we need a list of our fragment. Yeah, because the idea here is that the panel is the only one communicating between these, and the selectable and the player input don't have to know about it at all. To keep it as like the single source of truth, kinda. Probably want to have them fetched automatically for convenience, but we're not bothered by that yet. Now, with the selectables, we can actually listen or connect in the enable disable. Because I think enable and disable only called once for the UI elements, or like enable actually right at the start when it gets loaded. Or maybe not, maybe it gets loaded together with the player, I'm not sure about that. But with the player it's always good to fetch them fresh. But maybe also at an indie game stand. Oh, where's the next con you will be? Oh yeah, next con where I will be, I don't really know exactly. It's probably there will be a convention in or near Klagenfurt. I think in April. So that's probably going to be the next thing where we're going. I know it's a bit farther away. But also an anime convention, but they're doing an indie area. Yumicon I think is on the list. I'm not sure, there was one convention in Vienna that didn't have an indie area. I'm not sure if that was Yumicon or a different one. But yeah, if it has an indie area, I'll probably be there. Comic Con is also like currently in the talks, I think, but no definitive plans for that yet. But Comic Con was a cool place to exhibit. We went there like 2 years ago when the last FM4 indie area was there. That was a cool. I think comic or anime conventions are a good crowd for testing indie games as well. If you're at Level Up or Game City or Esports Festival, you're mostly getting gamers. And yeah, most people in our university or like team have the same target group, but like at comic conventions you have a more widespread audience and get like more perspective and input, which is nice. Yes, true. Yumicon is the same organizer. Yeah, I know they're doing multiple things, and I just remember that there's one that's more focused on. I don't remember the reasoning, but there was one where they only wanted to focus on the like anime part and not have games. But I don't. Let's see. You'll get the news from somewhere when we have the definitive dates or attendance plan. But yeah, the real thing will start with summer when we actually have a new public demo as well, because then we can actually exhibit a representative build and not just go with like internal testing, which is always a little bit shady. Okay. I guess unselectable. Let's get it on branch select. Type. Yes, thank you. Thank you for stopping by. You too, have a nice day. Have fun with homework. and have fun in your digital art class. Maybe catch you in another stream. We'll be having another gameplay stream on Thursday. I'm probably be playing Hades, because I've been researching Hades and now I'm kinda want to play Hades again. So Thursday evening we'll be analyzing Hades, and then next week back with another co-working stream. Gotcha. I probably also won't be here for too long anymore. Like until 12 or something. I have to make food at some point. It's also an important part of being a indie developer. Staying nourished. So a notifying system here. Friday. Sure. If it's, I'll keep an eye out for it. Of course. I mean, if you're posting it on Instagram. Oh, I'm following you on Twitch now, so I should get a notification. So I'll be there if time allows. Notify. Okay, yeah. We need to notify the systems here. Bye. Need to cache that. Okay, now on the selectable. These probably can stay the same. This is questionable. I don't think we need this anymore. Okay, we need to update. Lots of to-dos. But for now we need to broadcast the invoke Unity event with the fragment type. Branch selected event, let's call it like that. On select. Invoking it with the upgrade type. And on the other side with the panel, we are iterating the selectables. Just sanity check. If it's null, we are ignoring it. On branch selected. And then in disable, we are disconnecting again. So far so good, so far so good. Then we are caching the currently selected type. Then we can notify the system. Memory fragment system. Unlock next upgrade. Yeah, this one checks. Let's call it request. Unlock for branch. Request. Refund for branch. This one we are removing. There's no clicking involved anymore. Alright, this thing should be hooked up. This thing should be set up. Now we only need to have the player input ready. Now the question really is, are we doing I think we'll just add. We'll just add actions for now in here. Let's do that on F, because that's what I use for interactions right now. And one for enter. If we're already here, can also use numpad enter. The keyboard. For a gamepad. I don't know. Let's use the one for now. Button west. So X on Xbox. And then for refunding, backspace. And for convenience, E for now. Oh, and also, if we're added, delete. Then for gamepad, let's do Y. Save it. Then somewhere are player menu controls. Yes. Let's actually call that player input. Don't rename. Now choose to have we need to manually hook up our Unity events. That's how we chose to do the setup to have more control. So in the player base, there's the input component, all of the events, and there's the menu UI. Then for the requesting, refund, and upgrade, we need to connect the menu controls. Yes. Memory fragment player on upgrade input. And on refund input. Okay, and now we need to set everything up in the actual UI as well. So this one needs a panel fragment. And this one needs to have the selectables assigned. But that doesn't work because they don't have that yet. Selectable fragment. Then I need a header, the cost, the level. Now we can assign that. Then we can run the whole editor setup for the UI. Apply the styles. Technically, we should be good to go. I think right now there's no way to get out of this UI. That's nothing to worry about now. Now, I have one thing I want to add is the coin text. You can just copy that. Coins isn't the correct term anymore, but if we're already here. Fragments. Now, So I think the only thing the shop does is open the UI. So if we rename this, it should open the other UI, also the new one. Technically. Okay, let's run a quick test if anything really obvious comes up. Then I think I will be heading into lunch break. Oh yeah, it's not hidden, that's obvious. Why not hide and start? Should be hidden. Oh, doesn't have a paid module. Let's try one thing first. Okay, that worked, nice. Okay, no, that's not opening any UI. But technically, something happened. Just bailed out. Oh, I think there's an issue with the fish animation. The null ref exception. But where? Here. Oh yeah, there's no player yet. And first hiding. Okay. Let's try this again. Nope. also not throwing any exception right now. I mean, throwing a lot of exceptions, but none that are related to our current problem. Alright, but I think that's something to investigate after lunch break. Okay, but we made progress. Mostly UI work, so that's also important. So yeah, thanks everyone who's still here for joining. Hope that was a nice co-working experience. We'll be back on Thursday with another Gamedev singular, just me this week still, playing Hades probably, because I've been researching that for the meta game and I have some thoughts and opinions about it. So we'll be taking a look at that Thursday evening, and then next week again with another cozy co-working stream. Until then, keep on creating, have fun, eat lunch, stay hydrated. See you next time. Bye bye.